Welcome back to the NK Auto channel. And I'd like to start off this video by saying I'm sorry for the lack of content. I've been pretty busy this month and all the things connected to the pandemic. So I have a couple of videos that will be coming out soon. But today we'll be doing the E3 spark plugs and the upgraded high performance coil install on my GX. The install is going to be pretty simple. All we have to do is move this intake to get to these four coils and spark plugs on the left side, and the right side is pretty simple. All of them are exposed already, so we'll get those done. And then the reason I haven't been posting also is because my battery is dead, so I haven't been able to move my car around. I got a new battery, so I'll post another video of how to install a fresh battery into your car. But besides that, let's get started. It's pretty simple. All you require is a spark plug socket and some pliers to get these clamps off to move the intake. So we'll get that done, and I'll show you how to install the spark plugs. So putting up one of these E3 spark plugs, you can see the difference between a standard NGK spark plug that I currently have in my car. You can see the head, it's more of a diamond shape. This allows more consistent spark, and they say that increases miles per gallon and horsepower. So I'm excited to see how these perform on my car. Overall, let's see if I can get this in focus. It's a pretty nice design of a spark plug. I know you won't be seeing this often, but it's a pretty nice look. And then for the GX, they require an E3.56 spark plug. So that just determines the thread and how deep the spark will actually go. So I'll get these all unboxed, and we'll start on the right side of the car. We'll pull the coils, and then we'll install the new coils, and then we'll put these new spark plugs in. Another nice thing about these spark plugs is that you don't have to worry about the gap. They're already preset and they're fixed, so you don't have to worry about playing around and presetting them. So what I'm going to do now is put this spark plug to the side carefully, and then I'm going to take my socket and take off this first coil pack. I'm going to unplug it, and we'll start working on the first cylinder on this right side. Once we get that done, we'll go in a row all the way to the back, and then we'll go on the left side. So starting with the easier side, since this is all exposed and we don't have to start worrying about taking off the intake. So let me get my wrench, and then I'll loosen this up, pull it out, and we'll look at the NGK spark plug. I actually installed these NGK spark plugs not long ago, so I'm curious to see how much fouling they have on the tip, but they shouldn't be too bad. And I loosened up the screw. Now we're just gonna have to pop off this clip. You just have to push down this part and pull it up. Once you do so, we can take the new coil that I have on the side in the box, and we can get the spark plug and we can put it in, and then we'll get one of the banks done, and then we can move on to the next one. Taking out the first spark plug, you can see it's not bad at all. There's a little bit of carbon buildup, but overall not bad. I'm gonna put this on the table and mark them from cylinder 1 to 8, just so I can see if any cylinders have more buildup than the other ones, but overall not bad. I'll pop the new spark plug in, put the new coil in, and then we'll move on to the next one. With that first spark plug in, I don't torque down the spark plugs. I just do them a little bit tight and not too tight, just to get them in seated nicely. I'm gonna put this new coil in, all clean. Put that in, pop the clip on, and then we'll work on the second cylinder. All right, as you can see, we got the first spark plug and coil put in. Now we're gonna work on the other three on the right side, and we'll get to the left side. So the last one's a little bit trickier to do. I usually get a swivel extension, and I put it on my ratchet. And it's easier to get to the last one. These other two are not that hard either, but these are fuel lines. These are fuel lines with a fuel filter. So we gotta get to those 3 10mm ones, but it's pretty simple. You gotta reach in through here, get this one unhooked, start working on this one with the clip, put the new spark plug in. We'll look at the fouling on the plug, and then we'll get to the other two. All right, just popped out the second spark plug. It's pretty much the same as the first one. It's not bad. A little bit of buildup on the top, but not as bad as I thought it would be. Let me just pop in the E3 one. Let's open it up, put the new coil in, and then we'll work on the third and fourth one on the right side. And then I won't show you how to do the third one because it's pretty much the same as the first and second one, but I will show you how to do the fourth one since it's a little bit tricky to get to the back. Besides that, right side is pretty straightforward, just the left side you have to worry about. So if that last coil is kind of difficult to get out, I would recommend just taking off this bracket just for the fuel line, just moving it up a little bit and pulling out the coil. it's just kind of a tight spot to get to, so I had to pop off the coil and I took it off from there just so I have a little bit more free room for this fuel line and these brake booster lines. So just take it off and play around with it a little bit. I used a pick just to pick up the clip a little bit, and I pried it off from there. I covered up the cylinder just so nothing would get into it, but I'm gonna take that off and I'm gonna look at the spark plug. So the contraption I have for taking out the spark plug is I added a couple of extensions onto my my socket, so I should have no problem getting it in there to the side, getting it out. So I'll get that one out, and then we'll look at the buildup on there, and we'll pop in the new E3 spark plug. But yeah, like I said, just pull it out, take that fuel line bracket off, and it'll be easier to get to it. So that last spark plug doesn't look bad at all. That's what I expected from all of them, but it's nice to know that the engine is pretty clean on the inside. So I'll pop that last E3 spark plug into the cylinder, and I'll put the new coil on, and then we'll start taking apart the left side with that air intake. So I got the last coil and spark plug in, and I put the fuel line bracket back on, tightened it, got this whole right side done, and I'm going to move on to the left side. Like I said, the left side's going to be a little bit trickier. We're going to have to take off this intake, or at least loosen it up a little bit, move it to the side, because we're going to have to get them from all here, and this piping is in the way of those front two ones. So I'm going to get all my tools ready for this left side. So I think the simplest way to get to those coils and spark plugs is if we just remove this box and leave this pipe on top. From there, we'll have easy access to the first, second, third, and fourth one. So first off, we're going to have to take off this MAF sensor. So we're just going to have to unclip this part and undo this wire. And then we're going to have to open up the air box, because there's going to be 3 screws on the bottom that we're going to have to loosen up. And then we can pull this whole unit up and out. And then also we're going to have to take this clamp off. That's one more thing. So I'm going to take the clamp off, those clips off. I'll open up my air box, and then I'll show you where the screws are and then how we can lift the unit out. All right, now I'm going to get my 10mm, loosen this one up. We can take this intake off, and then I'll pop this off, and I'll show you how it looks on the inside. So with the top part off, I have this K&N insert. I'll take this off and put it to the side, and now we're going to work on these 3 bolts. They are 12mm, so I'm going to put them on, take these bolts off, and we'll show you how much room we have with this bottom air box taken off. So with that bottom air box taken out, you can see how much access I have to those coils and spark plugs now. So I'm going to start working on this first one, and it's pretty much the same thing as the right side. It's just mirrored. So I'll take the first 3 out. I won't show how to do that, and then I'll just show how to get the last one out, since there's the oil dipstick in the way. So the one might be a little bit more tricky to do, but besides that, the first 3 are pretty simple. So I'll get those done, and then I'll go to the last one, the final one. I'll show how to do that one. The last coil was giving me a little bit of trouble, so I sprayed some WD-40 into the little clip, the red part right there. Sprayed it in there with a nozzle, and I let it soak for a couple seconds. It was way easier to pull it out after. So this left side, the last one is not as hard as it is for the right side. You get a little bit more clearance on this side. So I'm going to use my 10mm, get the coil pack off, and then I'm going to use my spark plug socket. I'm going to pull it out, and then that will finish the coil and spark plug upgrade for my car. So let me get that out, and then I'll show you how the final product looks. All right, so I got all the spark plugs on the left side, on the right side done, and all the coils as well. I'm gonna put this air box in now. It's pretty simple. We just gotta put it in and make sure that the outlet fits into this cutout in the fender. And then we're gonna put those 3 12mm screws in, and then we'll put on the intake and the K&N or your OEM air filter insert. And then we'll top everything off, and we'll do a first start up of the car. So yeah, stay tuned. Let me get that put in, and I'll show you how everything looks topped off and done. I have all the coils and spark plugs put in. Everything is set. So I'm going to now get and put away all my tools away, and I'll do a start up. I'll let it idle for a little bit, see if there's any misfires. If there is any misfires, it is because you did not tighten your spark plugs tight enough. So make sure while you're doing the install, you go through every step properly and do not skip any steps.